You've probably seen this video for TofuKitty Club on Facebook once or twice. Pay attention to the water in the cup. Not that on the right, the one on the left. Oh my gosh, don't pour too much! This litter clumps very quickly, very rapidly. However, it doesn't absorb a great deal per volume. That clump is huge for what was poured in. However, it does dissolve amazingly, so if you have indoor cats only that are not exposed to outdoor cats or are fed raw meat, toxoplasmosis is the deal here, you can flush it down the potty, otherwise you may not. Alright, we have the first day since I've coated this litter box with cooking oil and baking soda. Let's see if we get any stickage. Yeah, looks like we're gonna have another leaning tower of... Oh! It came off. It worked. Look at that. There's the bottom of it. Awesome. It works. Coating your litter box with cooking spray and baking soda works. Now the question is, how long will it work? Now if you're curious on how big that is, it's pretty big. So I have plenty of litter in this box. They dig, they pee, it goes straight down like a Plinko game and then puddles a little bit at the bottom. There you go. The Leaning Tower of Tofu. Hao, that's Chinese for hello friends, Byromi here, and I have TofuKitty Club in the litter box here. That's why it's green. It's basically like little tiny sprinkles. Looks like ice cream sprinkles, and it's made out of tofu, well, soy. That's why it's called TofuKitty Club. So because of the shape, it's narrow enough to go through the holes of my invention, but it's so long that they intertwine and kind of tangle up upon each other, especially when you have stacks, so it does not sift very good at all. So we have to go back to using a hand scoop, and I'm going to show you the method that I use to scoop litter with a hand scoop, which inspired my invention for the tilt and sift litter box. We're still going to tilt and sift, but instead of a big giant hand scoop, I have a normal sized hand scoop. This is a pretty good sized one though. So, first, we are going to tilt it, and the tilting helps to reveal. So, nothing on that side. I'm going to spin it around so you can see. Normally I would not have to spin it around. I keep my litter box between the towel closet and the tub, which kind of keeps everything in this confined box area. Some people put a litter box inside of a box to help with the tracking or to help with any other pets from getting to it, like a dog or something. So this is kind of like putting a box in a box. There we go. See that? Tilt, reveal, we've got a leaning tower of tofu. You see that in there? It's It's kind of like a tower. Last night my cat Muna, she's quite a peculiar cat, she likes to scratch the edge of the litter box. She woke me up because of the loud nails against plastic scratching noise. But she actually dug in it, and she actually went in it. And so this, how tall is this? So my cat dug to 3 inches. I keep a lot of litter in this really big litter box, so originally the depth was higher than 3 inches, and she dug to a depth of 3 inches and then peed. It was actually a little bit more than 3 inches, but probably like 3 1/8. And the pee went straight down, puddled a little bit on the bottom, and made a tower. Tilt, reveal, scoop. If your clump did not stick to the bottom and was floating in the litter, then you scoop and you sift. You sift, 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 sift. Alright. And then, for this litter, we come over here and we open and we plop it in. And we flush. Right on. If you haven't seen my other video of initial impressions of TofuKitty Club, you gotta watch it. Get your kids. It's a lot of fun because I involved my kids for the testing. This litter is super fun to play with, but I'm not too impressed for the sake of the use of cats. Okay, I've dumped out all of the tofu litter into this bag here. We're going to coat the inside of the box with cooking oil, extra virgin olive oil from Walmart, because we've had a sticking problem. I've read about people doing this and coating it afterwards with baking soda, but I've never really had the need to do so because normally I could just tap the side of the box and any clumps that stuck to the side of the box would unstick themselves, but this is not entirely true with TofuKitty Club. So we're gonna give this spray a shot and see what happens. So any dust you see on the box from here on forward is mostly baking soda and not the litter. We will see how this works. And let's go ahead and dump the rest of this in. All 2 bags. Day 5 was in the intro, so we'll just fast forward through this because you've already seen it. The Leaning Tower of Tofu that fell over. So here you can see that the clump is pretty strong. Even those fins that were hanging off the edge, they're staying pretty well together despite how thin they are. So this is the hardest clumping biological plant-based litter I have seen to date. I think this is the first day that I have a clump that is stuck to the bottom that will not release with a tap. This one is more flat, where my cat most likely dug very low to the bottom. And Oh, there it goes. Alright, it finally went. It took some really solid taps and multiple taps, but the coating that I put on here is starting to lose its effectiveness. We'll see what happens going forward. I'm launching it into the air. Alright. Yeah, so doing this oil and baking soda coating only lasts a while. 1/4 cup, 60 milliliters, and we're going to pour it in to see if it makes a similar tower of tofu. Alright, so 1/4 cup was definitely a bit too much. So if we take this over to the trash here, we will see these two clumps in here, and then this one is maybe not quite twice the size, but it's definitely bigger. And this clump is from my smallest and most lightweight cat, Buttercup here. She is the smallest and most lightweight of my kitties. And so this one is hers, so it's the smallest. Yep. Over time, every litter is going to break down and get dusty. Every litter. This litter does get dusty. Again, we did line this with some oil and baking soda. So some of this dust is leftover baking soda, but some of this is broken down tofu. And I just released a clump here. It released pretty good. I'm thinking that the dust, over time, as it builds at the bottom of the box, will actually help with the release of this type of litter in my type of box, in the Sterilite bin. So TofuKitty Club, Clumps, really, really good. It's one of the best plant-based biological litters for clumping power I have seen yet, but it just doesn't absorb a whole lot and is extremely expensive. And so here's a closer look at the stuck-on bits that were left over after tapping it. It works great in odor control, and the dust is heavyweight. It doesn't get into the air easily, which is the best kind of dust in my opinion to have. Also, the level of litter in this box is going down quickly because it just doesn't absorb as good as other litters. So we have, I mean, it's only about as deep as the shovel up to the tines. A little bit deeper. So we only got we've gone from having 3-inch tall towers to having only 1-inch tall towers. So this litter will not last me as long as it says for my cats. If all I had was just this one little pretty kitty, this litter might last, because she's the smallest and skinniest of my kitties. And so this litter was meant for you, not my other kitties. And for a papa who wants to spend more money. This litter is green, and it will cost you some green. Alright, I put the TofuKitty litter in the green box because it has the side entry for more traditional exit and entry of the litter box, so that we can better examine tracking. And after one day, we have just a little bit of tracking. It has gone no farther than the corner of the wall here. And that's it. So TofuKitty Club is indeed very low tracking, but nothing has beaten Scoon yet. These two pea clumps from the TofuKitty Club are in a different litter box because I moved all of the tofu litter from this blue box to my green one to test the final test of tracking. And you can see from the smoothness on the bottom of both of these that they actually released quite well. So this litter over time gets better with use as dust begins to settle at the bottom of the box. I'm sure there is a little bit of baking soda that is in the TofuKitty Club, even though I transferred it just from the dust that had settled. But I'm confident that this litter actually gets better with use as far as releasing from the bottom of the box. And speaking of baking soda, the reason there's all these boxes of baking soda is I put that in my corn-based litter to use it to its end so I can utilize it and not waste it. So here we have the second day of using this litter. Speaking of the corn-based litter, the cats didn't use it at all. So they prefer the tofu over the corn, and they prefer this over all of them. This is the second day having this litter back, and we have some heavy usage of this litter box. So let's do a tilt and clean and see how it goes. See how much waste we have left over in this box. We have a couple of clumps and at least probably one instance of cat poop. So my cats are going out of their way to come into my bedroom away from their typical dining and pooping and peeing area to use this box. Obviously there is a preference to this litter over the tofu litter and the corn-based mix litter. So this scoop has a little bit wider slots, which allows the tofu to go through easily. So all you need is a spoon with slots slightly wider than the typical plastic shovel that you buy from the store. Okay, this is the third day. I have 2 clumps of each type of litter in this trash bag from my laundry room, the TofuKitty Club, and the mixture of World's Best and Premium Corn Cob by Litter Made. I just mix those two together. And so there's a total of 4 clumps in there, and we are going to try emptying this one today. I'm going to spin it around so that tilting will be better for this video perspective. Alright, tilt everything into the basket. Alright, obviously my cats are indeed preferring this box. Normally this box gets used less. 3 days in a row, it has more use than the other boxes combined. This is the only one with poop in it. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 clumps and all of the poop for 24 hours of the 2 cats that are always in my house and 2 cats that are inside-outside cats. which one did not come in last night. So it was really only 3 cats last night and 2 cats for the day. We have 1, 2 pieces of the TofuKitty Club that have gone past the corner from the opening of the litter box. So I still haven't cleaned up this one TofuKitty Club piece that escaped from the litter box. Just wanted to show how much it tracks over several days. And TofuKitty Club is indeed a very low tracking litter. So this is my main litter box area. We got the 2 bowls of dry cat food. We've got a cat water fountain. And over here we've got 3 bowls for doing my nightly treats, which are the canned food, wet food. And then we have a cat scratcher so that they can scratch their sides as they're leaving the litter box. And in the litter box, I now have 3 different litters mixed together because I just don't want to waste them, and these litters are fine. There's nothing that I really super complain about that is inspiring me to want to throw them in the trash right away and not use them all the way. So I'm gonna make the most of it. We've got the TofuKitty Club, we've got World's Best Cat Litter, and we've also got Litter Made Premium Corncob Litter all mixed together. However, my cat trees are not in the laundry room. They are in the dining room area. So we got one there and this one here, and they're both handmade. One is made out of just random stuff and that one is made out of an old shelf.